Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In order to finalize their agreement, Kristen contacts a pouting Xander while she is enjoying coffee in the square. Justin confronts Xander about handing Titan up to the DangerousNEWS after he hangs up. Xander reveals that in exchange for a serum that will allow Sarah to walk once more, he is giving Kristen the business. Justin becomes understanding but worries. Xander claims that Victor gave Titan the freedom to do as he pleases and that no one can persuade him otherwise. With her wheelchair, Sarah arrives. Perhaps there is. In the questioning chamber, a cocky EJ greets Fiona and offers her a deal. He will suggest that she spend 10 years in prison if she enters a guilty plea to attempted vehicular manslaughter. It's the finest bargain she can find. She says no. Given that she confessed, EJ says she will probably die by herself in a Statesville cell if he brings the case to trial. She laughs. I never made any confessions. In the interrogation room, EJ hands Fiona paperwork. Melinda brings Stefan's divorce documents to the DangerousNEWS house. She reassures him that everything is as agreed upon. Gabby will continue to be the sole proprietor of Gabby's Chic and get a sizable cash settlement, while he will keep the mansion, the bistro, and his assets. It sounds fine, he says broodingly. He hesitates when she hands him a pen. He makes a crude comment about her wanting her shot with him when she pressures him to sign. Her billable hours are the same, so she yanks the pen out of his grasp and angrily orders him to do whatever he wants. At the DangerousNEWS home, a sullen Stefan is offered a pen by Melinda. Melinda encounters Kristen outside as she hurries out. She assures Kristen that Shin and the board are quite happy with the papers she drew up after warning her about Stefan's bad temper. Kristen laughs. DangerousNEWS Enterprises will be unstoppable once Xander signs over Titan. Rafe informs Gabby at the Hernandez residence that their tia Hilda passed away and left him a bequest in her will. Gabby is not surprised because he was always his aunt's favorite, even if he has lost contact with that side of the family. Their aunt's engagement ring is inside a package that he unlocks. Hilda writes that she hopes the ring would give Rafe the same enduring love as she had with his uncle. Rafe, according to Gabby, was like the son she never had. She does have a son, so Rafe says that's unfortunate. Yes, but Rafe and Tia Hilda had a belief in true love and were like kindred souls. It's over, even though Gabby believed she had finally found her real love in Stefan. Melinda walks in as Fiona is telling EJ that she doesn't remember ever confessing. She demands Fiona's release and maintains that her client is innocent. EJ reminds Melinda that he has 2 eyewitnesses even if Fiona doesn't confess. Melinda tells him that Brady is an addict who was so drunk that he once thought he was operating the vehicle that struck Sarah, and that Sarah is an untrustworthy witness. She proposes that he cut Fiona loose now and threatens to tear him to pieces. Fiona smiles. As Sarah informs Xander that giving Kristen Titan was a mistake, Justin exits the Kiriaki's living room. If Xander put his empire before assisting her, he wouldn't be able to live with himself. Although Sarah acknowledges that she has battled with her paralysis, she is nevertheless able to lead a full and active life. She won't allow him to give Kristen his or Victoria's birthright. Victoria's birthright, according to Xander, is to be happy and healthy. He owes Sarah everything, but he owes Victor nothing. He cares about her wishes, but he has already made up his mind. Leaning over the desk of the DangerousNEWS estate, Kristen looks at a sullen Stefan. Kristen believes Stefan's awful mood at the DangerousNEWS is related to his upcoming divorce. He claims that the settlement is reasonable, but he is unsure if he wants a divorce. His love for Gabby never wavered. Kristen suggests that he should rip up the divorce papers and get his wife back if he isn't really convinced about it. Gabby confesses to Rafe at the Hernandez residence that she believed she was prepared to dissolve her marriage, but she is unsure if any of them is truly interested in doing so. Rafe tells her to heed to her heart, give herself some time, and stop thinking about it. She will then be aware of what to do. Gabby remembers meeting Stefan again after escaping from prison as Rafe departs for physical therapy. Stefan remembers the mansion in the same way. He exclaims, "You know what, Melinda? Get rid of your fucking papers. Kristen enters the DeMera estate with a waltz. After yelling at her, Sarah leaves her by herself with Xander. EJ tells Melinda she will pay for this while she is by herself in the questioning room. For what? She inquires. Practicing law better than you do? He will be too busy explaining to Mayor Price how he allowed another case to slip through his fingers for her to be concerned about his promises of retaliation. Sarah's eyes widen when she sees Fiona drinking a martini in the square. You're out of jail? What are you doing? In response, Fiona exclaims, your mother-in-law is a free woman. Gabby hears a knock at the Hernandez residence. Her face drops as she opens the door, hoping it's Stefan. Oh my God! Stefan assures Stefano's portrait at the DeMera estate that he would not end his marriage to Gabby. I will stand up for the woman I love. He is abruptly jumped from behind by a man wearing a mask. He chokingly holds Stefan till he faints. Kristen offers Xander a vial of the serum at the Kiriakis' mansion, but Sarah needs a second one in order for it to function. When Xander's Titan shares are successfully transferred to her, they will receive it. Justin comes back just as Xander is ready to sign. An injunction has been sought to stop Xander's stock from being transferred to her. Jean-Paul Lavoisier's character Philip enters as they are speculating about who it might be. Editors have picked all of the highlighted goods and services on their own. On orders placed through its retail connections, soaps.com might get paid a commission, and the retailer might get some auditable data for their records. By now, it has been announced that Vivian will return to Days of Our Lives on Monday, October 28th, thanks to Louise Sorrell. We are all aware that trouble is bound to follow Vivian wherever she goes. And her actor doesn't mind at all. Sorrell claims that returning home to Salem is always just as much fun for her as being back on the screen. Regarding the people at Days of Our Lives, the iconic actress claims that I always show up when they call me. It's really lovely, she adds. I can't tell you, but the actors and everyone else we deal with are just. They put in a lot of effort and are quite transparent. Because there is a lot of speech and it moves quickly, it is always unsettling to return and hope that you can finish it. They assist me because I can't bear it if I make a mistake. You never feel awful about that from them. They are beautiful, but it does happen naturally. The people on film never greet Vivian with nearly the same zeal as Sorrell. The actress chuckles in costume as she says, I'm always greeted so nicely. What are you doing here, Vivian? God, that's Vivian. Do you know? Which I enjoy. The act of simply intruding is enjoyable. But since Ivan is finally coming back with her, at least this time she has someone to keep her company in the sea of animosity. Ivan Vera, who portrays Vivian's devoted manservant/confidant, will be dating Sorrell for the first time since 2019. However, the sequences they filmed back then weren't shown until 2020. However, the performers continue to communicate, and she will always adore their relationship. Regarding Vera, she chuckles, he drove me nuts because he would come in the morning for makeup and ask, do we have any lines today? We had, like, 5 pages. Are you serious? We had a really pleasant comic connection, even though it was a farce. I genuinely like him. Fortunately, even though Vivian and Ivan aren't able to reunite on screen, their actors continue to communicate, which isn't surprising given that they have collaborated for more than 30 years. Regarding Ivan's actor, Sorrell states, he calls me on occasion. Madam, he commands when he calls. How are you? That relationship, between Ivan and Vivian, is something I truly miss. It was a huge success. You can guarantee that the reason behind the troublemaking duo's reappearance is connected to both Stefan's unexpected departure and Philip's comeback. She's always coming back to get something, Sorrell says. And make everyone angry. But this time, she's also using the Titan chaos to her advantage in order to get close to her son, Philip. Vivian's longtime actor explains, she's so controlling. I believe she's constantly attempting to manipulate him. Naturally, Vivian will have a great deal of power if she succeeds in doing so, and Philip does ultimately take over Titan. Money and power are the two things that Vivian is most passionate about. However, we can see that's easier said than done, particularly if she has a limited amount of time to achieve her objectives. Although Sorrel would love to have Vivian return full-time, this is regrettably not a permanent return. But these days, that's difficult. Sorrel sighs and says she's really not welcome in Salem anymore. She simply attends gatherings. I'm not sure how she can accomplish much more than that unless she's become more integrated into the community. She simply comes and goes.